Good evening, good evening, good evening. It is 8 p.m. on a Monday night in the best time zone on the planet. That can only mean one thing. The guy wearing the Winnipeg Jets jersey, or shirt, sweater, I should say, which is not from this time zone. It's time for Scouching Live. Welcome to the show. Again, it's just me tonight. AJ couldn't make it. He sends his regards. He's still at home and busy with stuff, and so unable to join us tonight. And so you just get me again tonight, and you know what that means, especially because I was working on them all day long. We're getting the write-ups for the rankings coming down the pipe, and they're going to come soon for the Scouching subscribers who pay my bills for me, whom I love dearly. Got through almost the whole first round today, so the public version, if you're not familiar, has full write-ups on the first 5 tiers, like whatever stretches just past the first round. But all the players from there on get write-ups for any paid version at any tier. So if you want access and you want to read about every single player on my list and maybe some, reasoning as to why I might not have certain players on the list, then absolutely you can go over to scouching.ca, get yourself a subscription, and at any level you'll gain access to the rankings as soon as they're done, which might be tomorrow. If not Wednesday, and then they will be public next week. So it's happening. Ranking season is here. Silly season is here. The NHL teams are starting to how can I put it? NHL teams are starting to officially stink as they are missing the playoffs officially, including my hometown Toronto Maple Leafs and amongst others. By the way, actually, one moment. Oh my god. So I just posted the on Blue Sky, which I do use. I just posted that we're doing the live show, and I looked at the trending topics, and this is how I know Blue Sky is dying, okay? The top trending topic, obvious, just the word Trump, for obvious reasons today. But the second one is Nutella. Not sure why that is. Maybe I'll find out, but yeah. Okay. And then Artemis 2, for good reason, I would say, is trending. It's a pretty big deal. I've been following it. I've got the live streams going all day. But then number 4 on the list is also Artemis 2. So the same topic is trending so much that it's numbers 3 and 4. And then I don't know who this Reed Wiseman character. Oh, that's one of the astronauts. Right. I've been watching the live streams and I can't remember Reed Wiseman's name until I think about it. I'm live on camera. What do you want from me? But anyway, welcome to the show. We are going to have some fun again. It's just me. They're going to be Scouching reports tomorrow and Wednesday and Friday. You just realized that I forgot to record one today, so we're gonna do that tomorrow. It's like I said, it's silly season. Things are out of control. This is probably when I'm at my busiest from now until July. And so in the meantime, I'm a little scrambled, I'm a little loose, a little loosey-goosey, because everything just kind of flying at me. I was doing some ironing after I finished my work today. I was cooking the dinners. I was unloading the dishwasher. I was doing like 4 things at once, because you gotta do what you gotta do. And so, yeah, always a little bit messy. And I've got Artemis 2 on the mind. What can you do, right? It's like the coolest thing ever. I mean, it's people are going to the moon. That's pretty neat. It's way cooler than what I'm doing, so it's a little distracting. But anyway, I'm wondering if there's any other housekeeping to do. I don't think so. It's literally just reports and ranking season. We've got, I also added, as an update to the draft simulator, I have added a feature that I don't think anybody can see, at least not right now. I set it up as a trigger in the JavaScript that just like, it goes from like a 0 to a 1, and it's essentially, look, I'm not logging your personal information, but where players are being drafted by people who have a registered account is being logged. And once there's enough of a sample in the data that I can see that it makes a little bit of sense, that especially isn't just me running the simulator like over and over and over again, which I do like once every 2 or 3 days just to, to try some stuff out. But the that user average is going to be flipped on and visible to the public. If it isn't already, it shouldn't be, I don't think. But it should be visible once we get closer to June and more people start to use it. Treasured YouTube member Doodle Hockey down there, what's going on? Had the joy of sharing this with the world on his YouTube channel, so you can go check that out too. I watched that video while brushing my teeth this morning. And so really happy it's getting some good use, and it's a good one, man. It's starting to it's where I kind of want it to be in terms of okay, so it is visible on some players. Okay, well, I'll take a look at that. I have the admin account, so I thought that I had set it up for admin. I am learning JavaScript here. It's a little no matter how much assistance Base 44 gives me with writing all the code, I am trying to learn how to do the JavaScript on my own while I do this. And I think I said this last week. I have 2 cousins who are big web developers, and I asked them about JavaScript, and they're like, don't use it in the first place. Just stop, just quit. Just quit overall. Just quit everything. Just quit. You start JavaScript, and you basically want to just shut things off. And you're like, you know what? I think I'm going to find something better to do with my life, literally as far away from a computer as possible, because this makes no sense. But we're getting there. But we are, what was I going to say? Oh my God, I already forgot. I don't remember. Oh, the lottery. So there has been some people highlighting some stuff with the lottery. It is really, really hard to stay on top of the on top of the lottery. With all the subtleties of where teams are ending up, I think at the end of the day, it still sorts itself out. It's something that I've had to set up to be automated because I functionally do not have the time to update all the code for the standings changes all the time, and that probably would be even worse. Especially because like there's teams with like points percentages and everything, but now that the playoff picture is kind of slowly coming into focus, we can we can take a closer look and solidify some things. But there was some weirdness with the lottery that someone pointed out in the comments that I fixed with regards to Ottawa still being in it and being rerun and blah 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 blah. So anyway, I haven't even looked at the NHL standings since like last week. I was busy most of the weekend and have not paid attention. Okay, I mean, oh boy, everything is falling apart. I mean, plenty has happened in the last few days, right? Pete DeBoer got fired with 4 games left in the season. Today, Tom Fitzgerald gone. You could maybe kind of see that one coming. I gotta say though, by and large, I don't think like what Fitzgerald has done in New Jersey, that like I don't think that what he's done in New Jersey overall has like completely tanked the team. Obviously, they're undershooting where they should be, right? And I haven't looked specifically at all the details as to why. But it did feel like for a while there, at least the last couple of years, that a lot of New Jersey's issues were like kind of out of the control of the general manager. But, I mean, well, who have they got on the team, right? Like the injuries to Jack Hughes have always added up. Even this year, like Jack Hughes got injured again this year. So there's I don't know. Anyway, but that's the one that caught my attention. Obviously, Bruce Cassidy losing his job last week, and I think Brad Treliving the week before. I wanted to look at the Devils roster. The multiplayer, yeah. I honestly, with the rankings, I'm trying to get that done first, because those take a lot of time. Because I do write-ups on, it'll be 105 or 6 players this year. At this point in the year, I tried to trim it down, and then I just dug in more on some other guys, and no. So it's in progress, but it is a much more complicated thing to implement, doing those kinds of things, the multiplayer. But I'm working on it. Once I do it, I want to get it in and set up by like the end of the regular season if I could, because that's when people who are not in the playoffs will go, what do I do with my life? And we can go, hey, here you go, try this thing out. Boy, yeah, okay, maybe the Devils are actually a little bit of a strangely constructed team. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, I can see how the Devils maybe are undershooting what they could be. Wow. They're okay, so their top two line wingers on Elite Prospects on their depth chart page is Jesper Bratt, Paul Cotter, Timo Meyer, and Connor Brown. That's rough. I mean, you got Stefan Nason in there, Arseny Gritziuk. Oh boy, yeah. Okay, yeah. Maybe it was time to try something else if you're in New Jersey. But yeah, I will work on the multiplayer. The goal is to have it done by the end of the regular season. So that people can play around with it. At the very, very worst, it has to be ready for the lottery, because that's when everybody will start to want stuff like this. But yeah, I appreciate all the feedback. I appreciate all the usage of it. I have been watching the analytics. I think it's been used. Let me check, actually. I want to see. I think we've had something like 10,000 different users use it, which is pretty wild. I'm gonna check the analytics. Get my analytics hat on, and oh, I can't do it in that browser. I have to use a different one. Anyway, I will get to the questions in the chat. So if you have questions, drop them in the chat, and I'll get to them. But this is a bit of a chaotic start. It usually is when I'm on my own. I did take my my meds today, so maybe I'm a little bit hopped up. I did have the thought, because I have them separated by day. I did have the thought of like, did I take my second dose of the day, because there's one left in the thing and in the slot, and I may have forgotten another day, and I just said screw it, and I just took it anyway. And if I die, I die. Where are you here? That's the clanker ranker. There it is. Let's see, dashboard analytics. Yeah, I mean, in the last week, 2,000 total users. And let's see. Yeah, 15,000 users. That's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. Unique viewers, almost 6,000. We've had people use it from the Netherlands 61 times. We've had people from Singapore, Japan, New Zealand, Austria, Hong Kong. What's the lowest on here? Bulgaria. Someone in Bulgaria has gone to this webpage and seen what it is. That's pretty amazing. That's what the thing that always blows my mind about what I do. Also, it blows my mind how many people are using mobile. I'm glad that I spent some time trying to refine the mobile UI. And again, if there's improvements that you want, like I don't use it on that profile, I can toggle it using the development dashboard. So, and I think it's in a good place, but it's obviously only a certain experience. Like if you have it, Reddit was glazing me when I posted it there. I did see that. Okay, I got to say this. I love my subscribers dearly. I love the people that I interact with. I think we have a really healthy, good community, and everything's great, and that's awesome. I'm not going to throw the specific name under the bus, but there is someone in the Discord server who made it sound like Reddit was ripping me to shreds. He was trying to get me upset, which it feels like a lot of people do try to do, which fair enough. It's easy to do. I've got insecurities. It's okay. Whatever. I get it. But he tried. And I was like, well, I don't need to hear that. Like, I don't want to know that Reddit is yada, yada, yada. And then the better half was on the couch, and she was like, I'm going to downvote everyone's comment. How dare they sass you? How da-da-da-da-da. And she went and looked, and she's like, actually, everyone's being really nice to you. Like, there's, like, constructive feedback and constructive criticism, but, like, it's really nothing that bad, like... And then I looked for myself, and she was right. I was like, oh. So the next day I got into the Discord server voice channel for an office hours session, and immediately lambasted this person, much to their laughter. They got the laughter out. So I was a little caught off guard by that and a little bit annoyed, but I'm glad that Reddit likes it, because if Reddit likes it, that means it's really good, because Reddit likes nothing. If Reddit likes anything, it's not liking things. Or they all like the same things that is a very small batch of all of the things, right? They have like a zeitgeist where it's like, yes, like There Will Be Blood is the greatest movie ever made, that kind of thing. I mean, it's a great movie. It's a fantastic movie, but it doesn't hold a candle to Batman and Robin. It's nuts. You think the trading is too easy? That's something that I can tweak pretty easily. I think that you can. The thing is, like, it depends on what the package was for you to move up from 24 to 20, right? It's kind of got like a cushion of like, because in reality, like, first of all, the pick values that are in there are taken from a scientific paper that has been historically used for pick values that gets updated once in a while. And I've kind of tweaked it a little bit, but by and large, it's pretty accurate. So I would say that in terms of the mathematics behind it, it might be pretty realistic. But the thing that I've done is I've added a cushion so that, like, the idea is that more people can sort of have fun with the trading engine, and like teams will accept a little bit more, or teams might, they might not have the picks, but they might offer it to you anyway. But I agree though, like trading down, I think the cushion is 20% trade value. So you can screw with it a little bit, and break it a little bit, but like that's also kind of half the fun, But yeah, I mean, it depends. Oh, you traded just the 24th pick to get to 20. Okay, that's a little strange. I'll jot that down, because I can write some logic that should make that impossible. Like trading a 1-for-1 and you move up slots. That's a little silly. Trade logic. Trade it. I'll put an up arrow. Pick. Or pick. I don't know. Whatever. I hope I remember what that means tomorrow when I'm inevitably staring at my whiteboard in front of me, going like, "What was that all about?" But I'll have a look at that. That's a good point. Yeah, that shouldn't be possible. So I'll make sure of that. You just did 15 and 79 for 18 and 63. That seems realistic. You see trades like that relatively often. You trade down 3 spots in the NHL. You trade down 3 spots, but you also move up 10, 15 picks later in the draft. I think that's happened many times before. Okay, well, let's catch up here. Why does nobody like Alexei Vlasov? I think with Vlasov, I've seen a bunch of them, and I think that he's a skilled player, but he's pretty slow, pretty clunky with his skating. He's very skilled, just like Yegor Shilov. Like, him and Shilov play off each other so well, largely just playing with pure skill. And Vlasov, maybe I should circle back on him because I haven't seen him in a long time. But the problem with both of those guys too is like there's nothing beyond the skill. Like, the skill level is there, but Shilov, I think his playmaking is good enough where the skill can warrant me putting him on the list and being like, yeah, second, third round pick, sure, I could see it. Are there going to be other guys I'd probably rather have? Probably. But Vlasov doesn't really have that next level sort of creativity that a Shilov does, and like there's not, like, both of them aren't the most active guys without the puck, and so it just kind of like bleeds out a little bit over time. Do you think any of the Red Wings, I don't know why I said bleeds out, by the way, it's just kind of like it's just like a what have you done for me lately type thing, and I think that they're just feeding off of each other and scoring in bunches, when I don't know if it's projectable. But I should take another look. Do you think any of the Leafs, Red Wings, or Senators have enough upcoming prospect firepower to compete with the other teams in the East in coming seasons? Well, I mean, you gotta hope the Red Wings do, right? Like, the Red Wings have drafted so often, and Red Wings fans have constantly been telling me how good they are. You have to think you have to think that they have enough in the tank to become a playoff team. I mean, they're not that far off now, right? But I mean, like, you got Sandin Pellikka already on the team. He's 21. Moritz Seider's only 25. Simon Edvinsson's 23. Right there, that's 3 really good defensemen to have lying around. Up front, I mean, you've got obviously Lucas Raymond in there. But if I go to my little tracker here for Detroit, oh boy, Detroit has really leapt down the power rankings here. But with Detroit, you have to hope that they have enough. I mean, Yenborg is over in North America now playing. I personally really loved what I saw of Carter Bear this season with Everett. I think that people might be sleeping a little on him now, but he looked really good in the games that I saw this year. Michael Bronsek-Nygård is another one who I think could be a really solid NHL player. Beyond that, though, like, I'm not huge on Nate Danielson. I don't know about him being a long-term sort of impact guy for them. Anyone else in the system, like Max Plante, might get there. I think there's a chance that happens. He's listed as a maybe in my list here. I personally really love Michael Sverchek, regardless of the fact that he, I think, has 0 points this year outside of junior hockey. So they have some stuff, right? I have been a little bit critical over the years with Detroit in terms of their draft strategy and everything. But by and large, like, I mean, you're right. Like, the proof of the pudding's kind of in the eating. I mean, Toronto, definitely no. The answer to your question for Toronto is no. There's nothing. I think Toronto is not long for this world. I don't know. It's, you gotta hope. It's a vibes thing with Toronto. It's not there's help coming down the pipe for Toronto. Toronto is the sixth lowest ranked team in my tracker here in terms of their future. Ottawa is lower. Ottawa's third last. I mean, I just think Ottawa has not drafted very well. They're not dead last anymore. They used to be. But yeah, I just don't really think Ottawa has drafted particularly well. And they have some stuff, but I don't know if it's going to, like, again, Ottawa has been drafting so much since 2019 that, like, if you can't get it done now, then something's got to shift. You got to think someone's got to go, right? Because the last thing you want is to draft 12 times a year for 5 straight years and still be unable to make the playoffs when those guys are 22, 23, 24 years old. Like, that is a problem. So I don't know. I think with regards to those 3 teams, the Red Wings, I think, are the team that has the best shot out of all of them, especially because of how good their young players are on the team and what they've got sort of here and there in the pipeline. The other 2, yeah, I'm not so sure. Xavier Villeneuve's user average is 29.7. That makes sense. Those people are wrong, but that's okay. No matter what I do, because it also logs my usage, because I am the administrator that has an account with my own website. Shocker, right? I think that's a player that I am trying my best to up that average. But yeah, hasn't happened just yet. Clearly, if he's sitting at almost 30, you know. I would love it if the pundits do it on TSN. That would be sick. I got nothing wrong. I got nothing against TSN. I think they're the bee's knees when it comes to hockey broadcasting in this country. So, yeah, I mean, if Craig Button were to use my system to mock draft for a specific team, I don't know if I could go as far as to say I'd die a happy man just because of that, but it certainly would be part of the book, you know? It would be part of the book. You know, it's a chapter. It's a good one. Maybe not the thrilling conclusion, you know, of my self-esteem, but it would be pretty good. It would be pretty good. Who are your top 3 wingers that are boom or bust after roughly 35 or 40? Well, without giving away exactly my list, even though it's next to me, the list next to me has not been updated with the finalizations that I'm doing while I write it. So these might not be 100% accurate, but I can still answer your question very easily. I think you might be looking at, what was it, beyond 35, 40-ish? Well, I mean, if you want boom or bust, like a Tommy Blale comes to mind. If a guy like Jack Hextall is available, that might be one that I would look at. Adam Valentini, I think that's a pretty nice one. I personally really like Logan Stewart. I always have this season. He's a boomer bust guy. Landon Hafley, boomer bust for sure. Lars Steiner, I think he could be either a very valuable and annoying, pesky guy on your lineup, or that, but in the AHL or in Switzerland. So those are probably some of the ones. I mean, Nordmark, I know Nordmark is probably gone by then, but to me, that's what he is. And same thing with Klepov. Those 2 guys are the offensive guys that I have in that range that I would love to see work out, but I have doubts, right? So, There's a few though. Like this year, I know you asked in the server about like some of these guys and about this draft class in general. And the really interesting thing about this class is that I'm not sure exactly how many like truly game-changing talents a team is going to get in this draft class. Like I don't know. Like I don't think you're going to get a Matthew Schaefer story out of an Ivar Stenberg next year if he's the one who goes first overall, right? Like maybe there's a universe where you have a absolutely stellar breakout season from a McKenna next year or something. I don't know. It's possible. I don't think it'll happen, but it's possible. But like beyond the first batch of guys, like first 10 guys, I think you're looking at a range where it's like I could see this guy filling this role and doing this thing for a line somewhere in the lineup. You know, like if I were coaching this player, I can see something that they'd be capable of doing, and they do it really well. And I think there's a lot of those guys. Like at a certain point, my list becomes like, I just like them and I'm willing to take the swing on them. And I know it's like a low percentage thing, but like I like them. That comes after the guys where it's like, I see something that I think could work somehow, some way, shape, or form. I think there's something good enough here that can work. And I think there's a lot of those in this year's draft, like a Breck Liskey or a Nicholas Aram Olsen. He might be part of that Klepov. He is part of that Klepov type player, those Klepovs, Hurlberts, those high scoring guys who have some doubts about their overall game, but they can really score. There's a lot of guys who are kind of like that this year, and they're just kind of like interesting bit players that, you know, I could see doing a thing. And so there's a lot of those this year. It's really good. Okay, so you traded up from 24 to 2 without trading without anything else. That's not supposed to happen. All right, we'll patch that. We'll patch that. Although that is kind of funny. It's really, really funny. Thoughts on Antoni Jurinen? I was asked about him a little while ago by one of our subscribers. I didn't see a ton there, honestly. I don't know. I think there's a decent set of like physical tools there. I saw him like wrestling to get to the net pretty well, and he's got a lot of sort of like jam there, but in terms of like a well-rounded game and like a projectable style of play, I just don't really see it out of him. But like there is stuff there. It's like good. Is he gonna like cross the echelon of like being a good Finnish player to like a good North American player? And I'm just not sure he's there. He's one that I haven't seen a ton of this year, because other guys have just taken priority, right? Yes, you are the greatest general manager. If you trade the 24th overall pick, that's the whole like I turned a paperclip into a house thing. If you're not familiar with that thing, there's a story from the early internet. Someone starting with a paperclip traded objects and traded and ended up with the deed to a house, or something like that, or like a sports car or something, a Ferrari maybe. I don't know. It was really, really funny. Did you see Honey Baked won the OHL Cup? Yeah, I did, and it makes me look smart, so I agree with it. America, man, the U.S., it's been a bad year for Canadian hockey, man. Pretty much across the board. It's unfortunate. And at the Memorial Cup, Kelowna's hosting. We could see an American team at the Memorial Cup in Everett. In the OHL, probably won't see an American team. And in the WHL or in the Q, we're probably not going to see, we're not going to see that. So, I did see that though. And like, look, I think the US has modernized the way they teach the game to kids in a way that, obviously this is a small part of the pie, but I think it's meaningful, right? Like the fact that a team came up to play in Ontario against GTHL teams, right? Like these are major programs. Like if you're an American, the Greater Toronto Hockey League there's so much money flowing around there, and there's so much politics and so much BS and so much like craziness, but the teams are still really good here. The teams are the GTHL has a problem though. It's the same problem as every other Canadian league. There are too many teams. There are too many teams, and teams go undefeated and beat the teams at the bottom of the table 12-0. So you may as well not even play those games. You know what I mean? For development purposes. Like, that's my opinion. Like, I think if you want to develop really good athletes, you have to constantly be challenging them. And if they're not challenged by half of the league that they're playing against, then you're holding them back. And in the US, they have like these more smaller, like localized circuits that these teams play in at the youth level that I think trains them a little bit better. Like, I watch a lot of the USA Nationals in the summer, and some of those teams are really good. So to see Honey Baked one, I mean, obviously the GTHL is not like a garbage dumpster fire, and like they did, you know, those games were good from what I saw, and like they were pretty close, but you know, for the US to come up here and play in the OHL Cup where everyone's expecting the GTHL guys to blow them away, one of the programs in wherever in the US comes up and wins the whole thing. It's pretty cool. I don't know. I think it's neat. I'm not panicking or anything, but you know, the fact that an American program defeats a Canadian team or teams, ever since the late 2010s, I am not surprised. Any player in the first round you compare to Alexander Nikishin? That's a very good question. Maybe an Adam Gollier or William Hulkinson type. Like one of those. I don't know. I was going to say Carson Carrolls, but I'm not sure about that one. Maybe, but I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think, yeah, especially if like their shot develops a little bit, maybe a Gollier, someone like that. I love that guy. I think he's a really, really good defensive defenseman, and I think there's offense that you could trade and keep developing. As someone who spends time on Reddit, I'm spot on. Yeah, I mean, I've been on Reddit since the early days. I've been lurking around on Reddit since university, like the late 2000s. I've been lurking around on Reddit, and some things never change, you know. Trust me, I've heard it all. The world is coming to an end. Everything is terrible. The world is a disaster. It's a dumpster fire. Everything is miserable. I'm miserable. And next thing you know, it's 20 years later, and you're still saying the same stuff, and nothing has really changed. But that's the way she goes. Why are the Ruck Twins ranked so low by everyone when they produced a ton? I mean, I'll give you my answer. I mean, I see more and more people putting them really high, but I'll give you my answer. I just don't think that it makes sense. Like, it's not that I don't like them. Like, I'll give you this. I don't have Marcus Ruck ranked. I have Liam ranked, I think. Do I? I should. I do. Okay. I have Liam Ruck ranked. I like how smart he is. I like where he places pucks. I think he's a smart puck mover. I think he's got a great shot when he uses it. And that's great. I think that you can build on the smarts that he has pretty well, and you can tell. He just knows the way that he plays on the ice. You just know that he knows what's going on, right? And maybe a lot of that comes down to his brother, whatever. But at the end of the day, I think Liam is the guy who's like the brains behind the operation there. Not that, you know, I'm not insinuating that Marcus is like dumb or anything, but just the way that they play together. I feel like Liam is a lot more of the bus driver in my experience. I see, it's interesting. Like, I mean, obviously a lot of people are ranking them higher because they have points, but I think, especially after my experience watching some Bryce Pickford earlier for the video room and just over the course of the season, the Medicine Hat Tigers are kind of an enigma on their own island. And I know for a fact that this is kind of how they've built their team, and it's obvious to see, but they just basically went, let's draft all of the skill. If they're 5'2" and skilled, we're going to draft them. And if we win a game 10-9, whatever, right? And I think it's kind of incredible that no other team has really leaned into that as much as they have, or really, like, it seems like teams kind of find excuses to, like, in the WHL draft, go for the 6'2" defenseman who doesn't do anything and just go, it's like the NHL almost. And you might end up with a 6'5" defenseman, but they don't do anything. And so then other teams just go, well, we'll take the skilled guy in the second or third or fourth or fifth or sixth round and just hope that it works. Because, like, I don't know. And for the Medicine Hat Tigers, they are loaded with skill. Like, Bryce Pickford and Jonas Wu as a pair should not work. But because they just always have the puck and are always scoring, everybody just kind of like feeds on each other. And then by virtue of everybody sort of feeding on each other, just by being more skilled than their opposition, you end up winning games 9-1. Especially when like half of the WHL is not even remotely close to how skilled they are, right? And so I think for me, I'll say for me, with the Ruck twins, they score a ton. I've said this a bunch of times. I just have the thesis this year. I'm gambling, but I have the thesis that the CHL is not as competitive as it used to be. I think with the rule changes to the NCAA while keeping the same number, like it just I don't think it's disputable that there has been talent dilution. I know there's Americans coming up, but an American 17-year-old is probably not replacing the impact that a Porter Martone is going to have or Gavin McKenna is going to have on that league. By and large, those Americans are probably going to college. So yeah, it's, I have them ranked low. I have Liam ranked low because I think he's very smart. But like if you took Liam Ruck and put him on the Tri-City Americans, would he be Cruz Paveo? Right? Like, and you know, I kind of like Cruz Paveo as a player, but it's the same kind of profile. Like there's a bit of skill there, but it's more about the smarts. And I think Ruck's finishing ability is a little bit more beyond where Paveo is at least. But at the end of the day, I look at a Liam Ruck and I go, yeah, I don't know. Like the other thing too, and I've said this before, the correlation between Andrew Basha going back to Medicine Hat and everybody latching onto the Rucks, it's 1-1. And Andrew Basha being an AHL bottom sixer, but with the speed and skill combination he has at the age that he is, going back to the WHL on the Medicine Hat Tigers, I suck at hockey, and I bet you he could set me up for 30 goals. Like it's just that type of player. You know what I mean? Good. It's that's just my thesis on it. That's my opinion on those guys. I am a lot lower on them than most people. And we'll just have to wait and see if I'm wrong. Martone's last game, Martone's last one game had 2 points. He's on 164 point pace in 82 games. He's the next Gretzky. You know this. I know you. You know this. If it makes me look smart, I agree with it. So the answer is yes, because we like Porter Martone here. We're big Porter Martone people. Big fans. He was great when we interviewed him. You know, I've been watching him play since he was 15, and I'm really happy that Philadelphia fans are happy about him so far. I dig it. It makes me look smart, so we're good. Yeah, well, you mentioned Gretzky or Lemieux. I mean, Lemieux is the greatest of all time, so I don't know if Martone is quite on that level, but maybe Gretzky. Where do you have Ethan McKenzie ranked? I don't, but I don't really, I don't know why. I see Edmonton play quite a bit in my work, just here and there, and McKenzie does stick out. And maybe I should take a much closer look at him. Usually I track overagers like later in the year once reports start to come out, because like the guys that are high priority for videos and stuff are like finishing their data sets, and I've got to sort of work down the list, and I go, maybe I should just look at some overagers. So McKenzie will probably be part of that cohort. I haven't seen enough of him, and I didn't think enough of him at the World Juniors where I went, this guy should be drafted by now. Like I feel like, you know, again, I always think about it. If you go back and draft the guy 2 years ago and you see him play now, do the thought experiment, right? Looking at Ethan McKenzie now, 2 years ago in 2024, where would he slot in on my draft board, knowing where he is now? And if your answer is the second round, third round, fifth round, or I don't like how he plays, then that is a pretty good indicator of where he should maybe go. You know, he's a player that now that I'm thinking about it, sure, I could have him on the list by the end of the year. I have nothing against him at all. It's just a matter of like exposure, and I haven't seen enough of him in detail to like go either way. But I will. We'll put him down, and we'll get to it. Thoughts on the Bruins pipeline? Oh, is the simulator worked for me today, so I've been using it today. It might have been. I don't know why it would have broke, but I don't know. Thoughts on the Bruins pipeline? I mean, it's certainly better than it was 18 months ago. A lot of NHL teams lined up to do the Boston Bruins a lot of favors over the last 2 years. Like just adding, I'm still a Liesel believer. I mean, I'm looking at his metrics now, and he's been outstanding at even strength at the AHL level. Like, if he ends up on waivers next year, I'm claiming him. I don't care. May as well. But I mean, NHL teams have lined up to give them names like Minton and Hagens, and obviously Hagens. No one gave them him Hagens, but he went too late, in my opinion. They got Huznadinov out of Minnesota. They've got so much in the tank now that they did not have before. I mean, it's still not perfect. They still have some areas to round out. Will Zellers was a nice pickup too. That's another one that's been an interesting pickup for them. I like some of the Swedish league defensemen they've picked, which Pettersson and Blanar I think are okay, but I think they're not there yet at all. They've got a little bit of some good stuff, but in terms of real game changers, they are certainly looking a lot better than they were 2 years ago. And they were looking rough for a while there. So yeah, I'm all for it. I know some folks with the Bruins, and they're running a good ship over there. So I think it's a sign of good things to come down the road. It'll be very, very interesting to see where that team goes. But yes, they're looking pretty good. Saw some criticism of Mathis Preston in that he doesn't vary his speed and he's all out all the time and is too careless with the puck. How do you feel? I mean, I would argue he's not all out all the time, and that's a problem. And he can be careless with the puck, right? But here's the thing. I love Mathis Preston. I think if there's ever a player outside of the top 3 in this year's class that is a forward and has the potential to be a star in the NHL, I think it's Preston. But he has some hurdles to climb over, and those hurdles are going to come down to coaches giving him the time and the experience to hurdle them, and him to understand that those hurdles are hurdles. And, look, with him, I think you have to be really, really careful because, yes, he makes mistakes with the puck, but he also gets a ton of reps, a ton of puck touches. And that's not just because he's a puck hog or something. He is an underrated off-puck defender, I think. He is a pretty decent, he's a very good forechecker in my data. But, just his ability to hunt you down and stick check you and turn the puck around and get moving up the ice, it's not amazing. But people talk about him like he's this lazy, borderline sociopathic offensive shooty guy who doesn't care about anything except scoring goals. And in reality, I think that that's a gross misinterpretation of the type of player and person you're dealing with. But he's a personality for sure, and you've got to work around that, in my opinion. But I think he walks the walk and talks the talk too. And so yeah, I think it's a case of, yes, he does make some careless mistakes, and he can be quite frustrating. But you also have to think in aggregate, right? At the raw output overall. Yeah, maybe he had some bad giveaways, but boy, did he ever set up a lot of scoring chances, and boy, did he ever get some good scoring chances on his own, and boy, can he ever shoot, and all of that stuff. And I look at a Preston and the way people talk about him and the way the perception is about him and the way that he plays and the issues that he has at this age, and I go, I still stand by the fact I think he could be a William Nylander. I've had people push back on that, but I go, in terms of the speed and the skill combination, the off-puck energy that you definitely see once in a while. I'll say this as an example. I watched a game of him earlier in the year. It was Spokane. They were getting absolutely hammered. It was something like 7-1 or 7-2 or something like that. Preston was getting destroyed, and I saw him chase a guy down and throw one of the biggest hits I've seen guys throw this year. So it's you just kind of want to grab him by the shoulders and be like, watch this video. Like, watch what you've done in the past. And like, if you do this more, you're going to be on Artemis 5 and going to the moon, bro. Like, if you just focus, bring a little bit of consistency, and like, you know, it's just that like edge that he has, but you bring it out more, and the sky's the limit, right? And maybe that's a hard thing to like teach kids, but you see it with him. It's not like it's not there. And when I look at him in aggregate and look at the data that I've tracked on him, like, there are some areas that are definitely a little problematic, but like the areas that aren't problematic are like off the charts good, right? Like, he's a dominant offensive transition player. He's an extremely good playmaker, an underrated one, I think. Like, he's got dangerous pass rates that like touch the highest I've tracked out of the CHL ever. You know, the shot selection could use work, but in my opinion, I think he's a great player, and he has the potential to be great at least. And I love him. Sorry, I missed the Rogowski question. Anything NHL team should be interested in for Brooks Rogowski? How would you compare him to Maddox Dagenet or Ryan Rubrick? So Rogowski is a little bit. I mean, first of all, he's a center. Those two guys have largely played on the wing this year. But Rogowski, I think what Rogowski does have, and I have him ranked, and I have Dagenet ranked. I have Dagenet ranked ahead of him, but I don't have Rubrick ranked. And maybe I should. He's really riding the line, but I just have seen so much of him this year where I go, meh. Rogowski, though, he's big. I think his footwork is relatively okay. He does not generate a whole lot of speed, but with his frame, he doesn't kind of need to. And he has a really good shot. I think he shoots the puck really, really well. I mean, he's very big, so he can get a lot of power behind it. And I think the skill level, like, I remember this from the summer last year, watching him at the USA Nationals. And I remember people saying like, "Oh, Rogowski's on this team. People are really interested in him. Like, he's a potential like higher end pick for the NHL, and that's fine." Blah blah blah. And I went, okay. And then I watched a few games of him, and I'm like, well, I don't get it. He's huge, but he's not doing much. He's kind of like, he's just kind of patrolling the middle of the ice and making passes and just hanging around. But then, like, at the end of one of the games, someone hits him with a pass on the offensive blue line, and he just dangles through like 3 guys and then backhand shelves it. And I went, oh. Interesting. So he's one of those guys. It's really strange. But, you know, it's not that he's like bad or anything. I think he's a decent player, but I think he's got a really long runway to go. Like, I think you're looking at maybe one of those like Brian Boyle type centers down your lineup where they just eat pressure. They're not going to score a ton, but they can. And maybe you can put them in front of the net, get that caboose in the way, and bang in some dirty ones. You know what I mean? Who's the Russian Steel this year? Who is the Russian Steel this year? I mean, people forgot about Fyodorov awfully quickly, and I still like him. He's a fun player to watch. I think people have caught on to Pugachev. That's no longer a trade secret. We like Pugachev a lot. I think he's ranked about where he should be. It's a pretty soft year for Russians, honestly. Okay, here's my answer. It's Ivan Fomin. Draft the 5'8", 140-pound scoring leader with points on 50% of his team's goals, who played a couple of games in the KHL and is lightning quick on his feet, lightning quick with his hands, and born in 2006. You know, we're talking Ethan McKenzie as a re-entry. Nah, man. Nah, bro. Give me Ivan Fomin, bro. I'm too old to be talking like that. We were hanging out with the nephew, the little nephew, the 2-month-old nephew over the weekend, and it's, you know, it's sort of slowly starting to click of like, yeah, I'm an adult now. You know, I can't be talking like the Utes, the Toronto Ute Tings, you know. Can't be doing that. Sorry to harp on the... Oh, sorry, we did that already. Klepov not ranked first round is surprising. Well, I mean, Klepov is not far out. He's at 36, and I think that's reasonable. I have doubts about Klepov, but I think if you put him in the right position, like if you kind of massage his job in the NHL, I think he could work. But I am not sold, and I've got a game of him to do once I get back on the tracking wagon, once I'm done with the rankings and a little bit caught up with the reports. He is on the list. I'm looking at his name right now. Am I? Yes, I am. It's right there. As is Rogowski, by the way. And Shilov, by the way. Even though someone asked about Vlasov. Klepov, I just think Klepov's a guy who will score everywhere, and then the NHL might be a struggle. Like that Seth Griffith type, where, you know, he can grip it and rip it. He's got skill. He's a bit tenacious. He's got a bit of that jam to him. But, like, is he going to be in your bottom six in the NHL? I'm not totally sure. Maybe on a progressive team's third line. But I don't know about top six. Like, an NHL top six or on a good team, I'm not sure about that. And so automatically that kind of bumps him down a little bit. But, like, I don't know. I do like him. And the numbers I've tracked on him at 5-on-5 against good teams in the OHL, his offensive impact is a lot more limited than you might think. It's not nothing, but it's a lot more limited than you'd think. Same thing for the Rucks, and same thing for Hurlburt, and Hurlburt less so, but definitely the Rucks, and there's definitely another one. Oh, Malhotra is the other one. So those are the ones where I have a bit of question marks. Do you think any team takes a swing and try to take both Rucks? I mean, sure. There's 32 teams in the league, so someone may be considering it. I think there's a decent chance someone will think about it, but I wouldn't do it. Outside of the Sedins, drafting a storyline rarely works out, and I do not think the Rucks are the Sedins. There are so many other twins that have come and gone that nobody bothers to think about. Not that the Rucks are those either, but like just because they're related doesn't mean they're gonna be awesome NHL players. Like I don't, maybe they will be, and it's worth taking them both and doing it in the middle of the first round or something. I don't know. But from what I've seen of them, I would think that until like by the time they're drafted, I will have, if I did have picks, probably have guys higher on my list. What did you learn from your previous assessments of big guys like with skill, like the Protas brothers, Batherson, Cutter Gauthier, Marchenko, Dorofeyev, etc.? And how can teams find these types of players more consistently in the draft? Well, you named a whole bunch of different types of players, right? Marchenko, I will be honest, I never watched him when he was a draft eligible. No, but I don't think very many people did outside of Columbus. Like, he was kind of a bit of an outsider, but like showed up and kind of blew the doors off the place. The Protas brothers, thank you for the super chat. That's awesome. Excellent. The Protas brothers, I think it's really weird. I think the thing is that while I don't believe they are my type of player still, Cutter Gauthier I've really loved in the NHL. Drake Batherson as well I've really liked, and Marchenko I love. I think that, but all those players are very different from one another. I think Dorofeyev is very much a power play merchant. Like, his ability to shoot and score has always been there. I don't know about like a overall like impactful player where you're like, oh, I've got to rethink how I think about these things. The Protas brothers, I mean, I'm stunned with Alexei Protas. I can't believe, like, watching him in junior, I just can't believe where he's come or how he's come this far. And I have to chalk that up to the development staff and the coaching staff in Washington. The way that team plays, they kind of find a way for everyone to contribute and make it work and fit. And they are very comfortable slowing the game down. And they are very comfortable sort of just being tactical and precise by and large in my experience. And so it's like, in that case, if you're big and you can get your butt in the way and protect the puck and just make a pass, and everybody can do that, like, that's the value that some big guys have if they don't have the skill or the like, if they don't have the skill or the, how would you put it? Like the pace of play, the speed that some of the other guys in the league has. So I think that there's, like I said, you named a lot of different types of players. I think for me the big thing is that there's a difference that I'm trying to catch up on, and that's like looking at the data and trying to absorb and understand that there are players that may not check the boxes that I'm looking for, like ideally, right? Like I sort of prioritize certain types of players because they have player types that are rarer in the NHL, right? Like you want to draft the guys that you can see ending up at the top of the scoring table in the NHL, right? That's obviously, points are a little bit misleading sometimes, but they're a pretty good gauge of how effective a player on the NHL is by and large, right? Not always, but a lot of the time. You want those types of players. So find the commonalities between all those guys and find as many players as you can that have those commonalities. And then you can maybe in the draft class go, all right, let's try to fill gaps elsewhere, right? And I think that, I have guys like, I don't know, who's on my list now? Like a Morozov, Ignatavicius, Suvanto, down the board. I mean, you could be looking, a Ryder Cali maybe could be up that alley. Rogowski. Like all of those players have a level of like a lack of things that I kind of tend to look for, but you can see how it could work in the NHL regardless. Like the physical tools they've got will make it work. And so that's something I'm trying to do a little bit better at, but it's like, it always seems to happen where it's like, it's not that I don't like these players. I really liked Ilya Protas when he was a draft eligible, when he was with Des Moines. The first 14 games of the year, he had no points, and I was watching him play, and I'm like, I don't know how this guy doesn't have production. Like, he's getting up and down the ice really well, and he's attacking the nets, and he's simple, but he should be getting points. And then the back half, he was way better. In terms of scoring, if you think scoring is what makes you good, then he was really good. But anyway, that is something I'm trying to work around. And it's just tricky because, like, in the draft, you have to pick one player, right? And then you're betting that for the next, let's say, 31 picks, all the guys you also like are going to not be drafted. Like, that's why I do the team scouting thing. Because, like, I need to know. I don't want revisionist history. I want my mistakes to be out there. I want to know I would have taken this player. If I were working for an NHL team and gone up to the podium and I was king of the world, I would have said this name, right? And so it's like, it would obviously feel really bad if you picked a guy and then 10 picks later, Alexei Protas went and he turns out to be a 30-40 goal scorer, or Pavel Dorofeyev or something. That sucks. That would be a bad feeling, a sucky feeling. But them's the breaks, man. Like, that's how this kind of works. I think that a lot of it comes down to deployment, especially in a guy like Dorofeyev's case. But in terms of like the Protas brothers, I mean, I trust the Washington system and staff and everything as they are right now. Like, watching Cole Hudson's development too has been incredible. Andrew Crystal has found his legs in the AHL way faster than I thought he would. So whatever they're feeding them, either propaganda wise or food wise or training wise, it's working. Something's working in Washington. Speaking of the U.S., I did not know Caden O'Rourke is from Texas. Yes, he is. The first potentially exceptional player status American, I believe, if he were to get it in the OHL. They're invading us after all. Believe it or not, the Americans are invading us. If TJ Hughes were in the draft this year, where would you rank him? I have not seen nearly enough of him, and I feel like that's an impossible question to answer. He's like in his mid-20s. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. Where do you like to sit at hockey games? We have super chats. I forgot. I'm sorry. If you were Calgary, who would you draft with their first 5 picks? Oh, well, I thought you would never ask. There it is. Let's do this. Let's just do them quick here. Calgary, 7th. I frigged up. I didn't input. Well, actually, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to input my rankings. So Calgary goes first. Let's, you know what? If I'm Calgary, I'm doing it. We're going to go, because he would be highest on my list here. We're going to go Tynan Lawrence. So there's that. I love him. Then next pick, you've got, what is it? 18th. This is really hard without my ranking here. I should have done that. But I don't know. Let's just play around. If this were some of the names available at 18th. Oh, Mathis Preston. Duh. Did not see that. Where are we? 35? We'll go. Yeah, let's go goalier. I feel like he could be a decent flame one day. Oh, right. And then we just pick right again. You know what? Wyatt Cullen. More skill. Give me more skill for Calgary. Who cares? Whatever. Victor Plant, Ryder Cali. Ooh. Verdi Svensk. All right. I'm going to gamble a little bit. I don't even know when my next pick is. Yeah, 53rd overall. You know what? Victor Plant. Let's go for that. Okay, so I have another pick. This is my, right, 6th pick, I believe. Yeah, this is my 6th pick. So, yeah, I'll take Verdi Svensk, I think, with that pick. Novak, he's all right. Noling, Nitch, Rubrek. Nah, let's go. You know what? Let's go goalie. We'll go Ribkin. Have I drafted a defenseman? I think there's been a couple. Goalier. Yeah, Goalier and Svensk. Let's put down Goalier Svensk. Goalier Svensk. I mean, you don't want to draft by position. And I don't really like any of these guys on defense here. But we're just having fun. We're having fun here. Would I want Rudolph Burzkowns over a Katalichki? No. Let's go Burzkowns. Give me the Latvian, the big Latvian. And then we just rocket forwards a while. We'll buy low on Lagerberg Hohen at this point. He's what, the 9th guy you're drafting? Yeah, I love Verdi Svensk. I think he's one of the most overlooked players in the world right now. Oh boy, now we're in the doldrums here. Is Sorensen still available? He is. We're going Wiggo Sorensen. All right. We got Wiggo. We're wigging out. What's the scene? 40-year-old virgin? We just wanted to wig out. Oh, Katalichki's still there. Wow, it's all forwards. I don't know who any of these defensemen are. Oh, Georgios Pantelis. That's odd. He should be drafted. Not that, you know, not for me personally, but that's odd. I'll have to look into that. We'll go Katalichki. Why not? Oh, and that's it. Okay. Well, there you go. I mean, if I'm the Calgary Flames, I'm over the moon with this group. Yeah, I mean, yes, please. Like Wiggo Sorensen is the 10th guy I draft as a quote flyer. Yes, please. I'll take it. Someone asked about Pittsburgh. All right. Well, let's do Pittsburgh. We'll do Pittsburgh, and then we got to get back to the questions, and we'll move on. But I saw someone ask for Pittsburgh, and so we'll do Pittsburgh. Okay. Oh, the Jets won a lottery pick. Nice. Good for them. Wow. Oh, let's speed this up. All righty. I mean, it's probably going to be a similar-ish group of players. We're at 24. Preston's still there. Sure. That's a no-brainer. You know what? We're Pittsburgh. Let's go Tommy Blale. Screw it. Give me the, you know, give me that. Give me that. Jackson Cover. He seems like a Pittsburgh type. Is Elofsson a defensive version of Nordmark? Yes, he is. I think that's a very good sentence. Well done. Oh God, I don't know. We'll go goalie. We'll go Ribkin again. You know. Sure. Next. Where do you have the top goalie going, and how much earlier do you think a team is going to swing on him? I mean, it seems like it'll be Treble, and I feel like late first in this draft class kind of makes sense if you really like him. If you really believe in a goaltender, they probably have as good a chance as anyone else. Oh boy, who could be available here? What have we done if we're Pittsburgh? Preston, Blale, Cover, Ribkin. So okay, defenseman, goalie, 2 forwards. I believe that Svensk would be gone. Yes, that's too bad because I like him. Where are we? 177? Okay, well, this is probably Sorensen territory. By the way, playing for Vecqua in the playoffs at the under 18 level, granted, but he's been good. Okay, well, there you go. There you go. Zanon's really playing well in the playoffs. Do you see him as more of a center or a winger in the pros? I think he's going to be a center. I think the way that his natural style of play works. I mean, he could play wing if you wanted him to, but I would like to see him play center. Yeah, who are Blainville playing? Victoriaville? Okay, they're playing Victoriaville. You got to be a little careful. The Tigres are, not the best team out there, but I'm not gonna yuck your yum. I love Bill Zanon, so it makes me look smart, so I agree with it. This would be catastrophic. I just saw that in that draft simulator we ran for Pittsburgh, Viggo Bjork went to Boston at 8 with Toronto's pick. Imagine that, eh? Holy. Fast forward to June. I would try him at center, see if it works, and if it doesn't, I think he falls back as a pretty projectable winger. Where do you sit at hockey games if you want to scout a player? I sit up in the rafters. I like the bird's eye view. If I sit any lower, like I may as well just watch the TV broadcast most of the time. Some arenas are better than others. Obviously, like Guelph, there is no real upper deck to like sit in. You're kind of in the concourse, and that's pretty low to the ice, so it might trick you a little bit. But like you go to London or Kitchener, and you're way up in the rafters. But I like it that way personally. Is there any way to make the blue colors lighter, like the Rangers, Blue Jackets, Washington, Minnesota? Maybe what I'll do is lighten the background of the website, because those are their team colors. Like I went and got the HTML codes of their team colors. So I'd rather keep those, but brightening the background, I could try playing around with that. Have you checked in on Lukas Zajic recently? No, not really. I'll be curious to see him at the under 18s. But I feel like he's one of these guys where it's like he's skilled and pretty slick on his feet, but I don't know about beyond college hockey. Like there's not really many physical tools there. There's not a whole lot of like jam in his game, close quarters skill, like working through pressure. That's always been things that I've really had trouble with him. But it's been a while since I've seen him in detail. But definitely has some high-end tools, like some high-end traits here and there. You're a Penguins fan and not allowed to be a Martone fan? Well, my friend, that is your problem. Do you believe... Oh, you mentioned... why do you think Bash has struggled so much in the AHL this year? Because he was in the bottom 6 on a team like playing with like Adam Klapka and... or maybe not Adam Klapka, but... He just wasn't getting the ice time, right? Like he just was down the list of priority, and at 19, you're not gonna get the first look, right? Oh yeah, okay. So his line mates were when I looked, I believe his line mates were Parker Bell and Lucas Siona, and those guys are not good matches, I think, for a guy like Basha, at all. So I could see how that wouldn't work. I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm not worried. I mean, also like injuries matter, and that, an injury season sucks. And so, right, he was injured, I believe. Or was that last year? Was that last year where he missed a bunch of time? Yeah, it was. Okay, never mind. Not that excuse, but I don't know. Now he's having fun pounding the Regina Pats. I was gonna say something really bad, but I stopped myself. I caught it. Um, Preston reminds me so much of Ben Kindle. Confirm or deny? I don't think so. I mean, maybe a little bit on paper, but no, I think Preston has a gear and a skill level that Kindle just doesn't have. Assuming the Canucks don't keep Adam Foote on board, what profile of coach would be the best for them? Taskmaster, players coach, tactician? Ooh. I mean, it really depends on the mix in the room, and I don't even have a clue what that's going to look like next year, right? Like, if I'm Vancouver, what does that team look like next year? I think you also have to think about, if you do have a top pick this year, which you will, who that player is, because they're going to, whether you want it or not, you're drafting that high, they are going to be a pretty big point in your future, and you have to find a coach that knows how to utilize that player. It's just going to kind of be a must. It's so hard too, because with Vancouver, it's like, well, what the heck is going on with guys like Pettersson, right? Like, what? Oh my God, what's the deal there? You know, you do have some young players now that you've added over the season, mostly from the Quinn Hughes trade. I don't really have a good answer for you. Like, maybe what I would ask you to do is explain what it is about Adam Foote that, like, who is he as a coach? Because you've seen a lot more of the Canucks than I have, and like, what's wrong with the Canucks in terms of like that you can put at Adam Foote's feet, because then you can sort of think, okay, well, what would work better? And I know that's what you asked me, and I am kind of stalling for time, but you know, I think you do have a good amount of young skill, and I think you have to lean into that. I think the big things that need to change on that team are down the lineup, like the depth guys, the bottom six, and the depth forwards and the depth defensemen. You know, obviously, like, your goaltending is a weak point too, it seems. So, I don't know. I mean, I also, maybe I'm wrong and maybe I'm going to look stupid, but like, I am of the belief that the Canucks are better than this. Like, there's more in the tank, especially, you know, yeah, you lost Quinn Hughes and that sucks, but I get the feeling that there's more in the tank after this year. You let Evander Kane walk. Hopefully Filipino comes back and he's healthy. You know, you swap out a Teddy Bluger for someone else. You swap out a Curtis Douglas for someone else. Swap out Derek Forbert. You just reboot those, maybe bring in some younger guys, give some younger guys some more ice time and see how it goes. Like, if you're Vancouver, I don't think you should be in a rush to, like, get back to contention as soon as possible, but you do have a lot of good players that are pretty on the older side. Right. Okay. So you're lost. Okay. So the Adam Foote thing, defensemen are lost in the D zone when a pair like Peterson and Myers was a shutdown pair. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's tough. I think that if you're Vancouver too, like, it's tricky. If you want to lean into young guys, you know, if you want to give Marco Rossi the keys to the car or Niels Hoglander, like, they're in their mid-20s already. So maybe you don't have 3 years. You know, you might only have like 2 to, like, keep them at their best, and, you know, the best of what you're going to get out of them. But Pettersson at that, like, you could, if you're Vancouver, bottom out and play your young guys, see what you got next year, try to reset the vibe. The Quinn Hughes saga is in the past. You know, you've brought in some younger players. Maybe Lekaramaki is healthy. And I think that if you're going to do that, the coach needs to have, you need to settle on, like, this is the coach who's going to develop our young guys for X reason, right? Whether it's a college coach, AHL coach, whatever, you've got to find someone smart and modern who will work with kids and, you know, knows how to not have them be discouraged if you are not a very good team next year, one way or the other, right? And if you are a decent team next year, then that's great. It's tough, though. They're in a tough spot. I'm more optimistic than most, I think. But yeah, some tweaks here and there are definitely necessary. Um, are there any teams you feel draft well, taking good players at the spots they pick, but are let down by the development systems? Uh, Winnipeg, maybe. Yeah, here and there. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the thing is too, like, there are only so many good players available in an NHL draft, right? Like, not all 224 are gonna make it. Teams are gonna take big swings on whoever and hope they grow and develop and hit a stride and catch a wave somewhere. And I get that. So you have to think about, like, sometimes teams just don't draft players who are very good and they hope they become good and they don't. Is that a development problem? I don't think so. Like, you can try and try and try for years and years and years, but if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, right? That's different from my strategy, but like a team like Winnipeg comes to mind, just because of the way that things have gone for them. It's funny. I watched a bit of a Winnipeg game the other day, and it was like the line of Barron, Lambert, Racine. I was like, they should have been doing this ages ago. I mean, Racine just came to town, but you get what I'm saying. Finance guy in the house. Why is Jack Hextall falling so much? He's so smart. He is so lethal and tactical and precise and smart, but there's inconsistency there. His overall impact on the game sometimes is enormous, and at other times it's not. And it's really frustrating to watch a lot of the time with him. Like, I'm expecting him to be that like the benchmark, at least for the junior level, is like, I want to see a really good amount of, well, I should say, in the data, the benchmark at the junior level is an offensive threat metric of about 30 for like a top end guy. And 30 means basically it's a sum of playmaking attempts in the slot and scoring chances from mid and high danger areas. And if that number is 30, then every 2 minutes, this player is attempting to make a play with a pass in the slot or take a scoring chance for themselves, which doesn't sound like a lot, but at 5-on-5, that's a lot. Every 2 minutes, that's a lot. And with Hextall, it's at 20, and that's lower than I think it should be. And a lot of it comes through his shooting, which is unusual because of how good of a passer he is a lot of the time. And so I still believe that he is one of the smartest off-puck players in the draft as a center. And he's underratedly physical, and I think that he has a lot of upside. And it may very well be like a sampling problem for me, and he's actually sick, and he'll go to college and be awesome. But I just have been left wanting by him a lot, and I'm noticing this when I'm writing up my rankings today. There's a lot of guys where it's not that I don't like them anymore, but the more I watch of other guys, the more I go, maybe I'm waiting for something that just ain't there. And these other guys, they're showing growth. I see progress. I see things that I can grasp onto where I'm like, I can see this working versus if only you were like this, it would work. You know what I mean? Like, there's a subtle difference. And so it like mashes these players all together. And Hextall is one of those ones where it's like, my sweet baby boy, I love you, and you're an amazing player. But, still love him though. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a really high upside player. What's a realistic outcome for Malhotra? Middle six center, like reliable, leans offensive. Maybe you want a little bit more of him defensively, but yeah, decent puck transporter, decent playmaker under pressure, projectable, solid. Middle six guy. If you have a great team, third line center. If you've got a good team, maybe a second line center, maybe maybe a third line then. I don't know. I don't mind him, but I do not have him as high as other people, as you can clearly tell. Where do you have that was the goalie. So you say Cullen is the most Penguins coded player. Who's the most Pens coded defense? Now there's a question. Yeah, I think Cullen and Hextall are probably the most Pens coded forwards. Defenseman, that's a great question. Maybe Breck Liskey, Ben Macbeth, maybe Luke Scherer, someone like that. Those guys, something up that alley. All decent players, I should say. Where are we here? Zanal versus Daigle. Yeah, I mean, there's an interesting question. Who's better, Bill Zanal or Alexandre Daigle? By the way, shout out to that Amazon documentary they made about him. That was really good. If you haven't watched it, it came out a few years ago, but it was about Alexandre Daigle and his NHL trajectory. And that was one of those experiences watching that where I'm like, these are people. Like, you're dealing with human beings, and I think we kind of dehumanize professional athletes a little too much. And analyzing an athlete, especially a young one, you got to be real careful, man. And you gotta come at it like you are guiding them, you know, because it can fall apart pretty easily. And with Daigle, it got ugly, and that documentary did a really good job capturing a lot of that. Any thoughts on Beckett Hamilton? I liked a lot of what he brought to the Red Deer PA series. His off puck is questionable, but he's got wheels and a nice shot. I like Beckett Hamilton a lot. I'm surprised more people haven't thrown him somewhere on their list. Let's see. Is Hamilton even ranked by anyone? Oh, that's why Pantelis showed up so late on my draft board. I apologize. I will fix that now. I just saw why. My mistake. Let's fix that. Oh, whoa. Okay. Yeah, I bunged up pretty bad here, folks. I apologize, but yeah, let's just fix that. Because that is something that must be fixed. This one, and we will, with my fancy admin privileges, sync the sheet. Okay, that should do it. What I do, by the way, my rankings are part of the average, the weight average that the CPU, the AI selects from, and my rankings. Any player that I don't have on my list was given an error because I do an X lookup and then drag it down the column, and anyone who doesn't match is an error, and usually I delete those errors, and there's thousands of them, but I didn't. So I thought something was funky when I was running this the other day, but now it should be much better. So, whoops. Yeah. But anyway, Beckett Hamilton. We like Beckett Hamilton. I think he's a good player. I think, yeah. Oh, right. I was going to look at, Beckett Hamilton and where he was ranked. Hamilton. Beckett Hamilton. Yeah. Nobody has him ranked but me. That's interesting. But yeah, I like him. I agree. I think his game is his tools are very strong. He does drive some good offensive results as well, although I would like to see a little bit more output out of him, but he is generating 37% of his team's shots. Most of them are off of his own stick, and moderately good shot selection, good forechecker. He is more of an off puck offensive zone presence that does pretty well there. And his transition game is pretty good, but he is pretty in and out. Like, is he going to have enough of an impact to make an NHL roster? And I don't know, but he's intriguing enough with tools that are good enough where he ends up in a tier where it's like he's a good curiosity that I could see working out. But yeah, I like him though. What's an Easter family tradition you still do? Well, now it's go see my nephew. My parents are currently in Europe. My parents are living the retired lifestyle pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. They're having a time. They're in France right now, in the south of France. So they're doing okay. So I don't see them very often. My parents also spend their summers out of the province elsewhere in the country, so they get as far away from me as possible quite often during the year. So no real Easter tradition. Now I've got family, different generation. It's really nice them and hang out, give them little fist bumps, and the parents are a little bit ragged still because he's only 2 months old, I believe, and so we go for a lunch. We went for lunch this weekend and just had a meal. I spent a few hours with them and then went home and left them to their devices. And what the saying? Left them to their own whatever. I just looked at my phone. The Jays are losing 13-1. Whoops. Go Jays, go. But yeah, no. I feel like the new tradition now is just going to see the Neff and hanging out with the little Nephron. Shout out anatomy students, little Nephron. One of my favorite words from my anatomy class in university. Have you seen any Carter Fogarty in Drummondville? Any chance he gets drafted? I have not. But because you asked respectfully, and because I am in a good mood, I might not be in a good mood soon if I can't find. I gotta say, I love Perplexity. I think it's a great company-ish. But for some reason on Windows, they moved the tab group page away from the bookmarks bar and put it in the settings to access your groups. And that is incredibly stupid. And the setting to toggle that does not work. So anyone for Perplexity, if you're watching, Comet is broken in that, at least on my Windows computer. But I opened the wrong group. Watch list. That's what I wanted. Let's add a player to it. Carter Fogarty. Is that John Fogarty's great grandson? Wouldn't that be funny? Carter Fogarty. Yeah, I haven't seen this guy play. But he's 5'8". That means he's good. Hell yeah, let's go. He played for the infamous Sarnia Legionnaires, man. Good pull. I'll take a look. What is the best type of bread? Challah. Yeah. Challah. Anytime I don't go down very often, but anytime I visit my family in the US, they are Jewish. And I remember once I was there for, I don't know if it was Passover. Can't remember. This was when I was a kid. We went down there for a holiday and they made us a big, traditional Jewish dinner. And I just remember I ate like half a loaf of challah and I was like, this is life changing. This is like a life altering bread products. But I mean, okay, here's a question. What is bread? Are cinnamon rolls bread? What about leavened dough? Is a leavened dough bread? Well, cookies aren't bread because there's no cookies. I don't think are no, because there's no yeast in cookies. There's got to be yeast. I feel like the cinnamon rolls are pretty good. I could muck a cinnamon roll right now if I had one, but I don't. I ate all the snacks in the house already. I mean, but if I'm at the store and buying bread, like, I like a good sourdough if I can afford it, which I cannot generally. But a nice loaf of sourdough, like if my parents send me home with a loaf of bread from their local market that's a sourdough, I'm happy. Not that happens too often, but yeah. But my mind is just going back to challah all the time. I don't know. Maybe it's just a cherished childhood memory and I'm wrong, but that's my answer. Which flag is the best? How about we do this? List of national flags of sovereign states. Look at what we found here. Oh my god. Let's turn dark mode on. Okay, definitely not these two. Those are unfortunate. It would be really nice. I mean, Canada. Canada's is pretty OP. We're dealing with Canada here. Actually, is there a list? Maybe we'll do that. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. We're catching up on chat pretty quick. A tier list of country flags. Afghanistan, I just disagree with their government and their form of government, and it's unfortunate. Albania is pretty sweet. Maybe we'll throw Albania in an A tier. This is Algeria. Algeria is pretty cool. Do I like it as much as Albania? No. We'll just pick ones at random. I mean, Canada, we're going S tier. Canada's elite. Bhutan, also elite. Bahamas, elite. Jamaica, honestly. Dig the Jamaica flag. Georgia, also pretty good. Put it down there. Seychelles, yes. The Seychelles Islands, where is it? Is it these? Yeah, this is Seychelles. How do I scroll up? Oh, I lost it. Where is it? I just had it. But yes, you're right. It should be an S tier. Uganda, I'd say Uganda belongs in like this is pretty cool. That's pretty neat. Oh, it's here. Seychelles is here. Yep, Seychelles Island. I like the older Canada flag. That's just like your opinion, man. Dominica has a really good one. Any flag with a bird on it or an animal in general, I'm all about it. Oh, Eswatini, another banger. We've had some pretty good flag. There are good flags out there. Humans are on a roll with their flag designs, honestly. It's pretty cool. Honestly, I might get raked over the coals for this, but any European flag that is red, white, or blue in any particular order, I think is terrible. Germany, boo. Belgium, boo. Denmark's okay. Denmark can hang. Greece is pretty neat. Brazil is a good one. Brazil is a really good one. That's a classic flag. Brazil is a classic flag. Croatia can hang. I think Croatia and Algeria belong to be neighbors. The trident on Barbados is pretty cool too. I kind of dig the Qatar or the that's not Qatar. This is alphabetically ordered. Bahrain, that's what it is. Bahrain, pretty neat. It's unique. I like it. Cambodia, legendary. You put your landmark on there. I'm all about it. A sunrise on your flag, pretty good. I know Japan is supposed to be a sunrise, but like, come on. You could do better than that. Although when they tried to do better than that, things went south pretty quick. Well, I guess you could say things went west real quick and then east and a little too far east. And then they effed around, found out, and then went back to this. So maybe we don't talk about that. That's pretty cool. I like this. That's pretty neat. That's Guyana, I believe. Guyana. Haiti, pretty good. Pretty solid. Ireland, boo. Italy, boo. That's Cote d'Ivoire, right? But boo. That at least gets points for shifting things around. Kiribati B tier does make sense. Oh, Kazakhstan with the bird. Yep, that's elite. Lao. Lao's pretty good. We'll say Lao in there. I'll take Croatia over Lao. Honduras. We'll just throw Honduras in E tier. Iceland, E tier. Finland, boring. He's boring. Union Jack also, I'm over it. I think it's time we abandon the Union Jack around the world, except for the United Kingdom. Come on, what are you, part of the Empire still? Boo. Kyrgyzstan also gets a big one. Nice sunflower. I believe that's what it's supposed to be, as a sunflower. That's a pretty good one. That's a really good one. We'll throw, I believe that's Central African Republic. They've got a really cool design. That's neat. Bosnia, Herzegovina. That's pretty neat. We'll put it, yeah, I like it more than Iceland. Maybe, no. We'll do that. How about that? The Czech Republic. Yeah, it's not this, but there, sure. Cyprus. I mean, Cyprus is kind of sick because it's just Cyprus. Like, they just took Cyprus and put it on a map. Or on a flag, which is pretty cool. Yeah, no, we'll put Cyprus in B tier. Apologies to the Turks in the audience. Latvia, the maroon automatically makes it an S tier. I know I'm not being logically consistent here, but I could not care less. Angola on the flag. I disagree with weapons of war on your flag, so I'm putting Angola in F tier. That's pretty neat. That's Cape Verde Islands, right? Is it? I don't remember. That's pretty cool. North Korea, obviously S tier. Obviously, there's no doubt about it. Bangladesh is basically Japan, just flipped around a little bit. Kenya's is great, but you know, weapons of war. Oh, Macedonia. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Nah, we'll put it up there. Marshall Islands. Okay, Union. We'll go through the Union Jacks. Those can go. Okay, I'm all for the African flags with the multiple stripes. That at least is like, you know, you're sticking your neck out a little bit. I like it. I respect it. China. I mean, it's kind of boring. Like, it's very Honduras coded. Well, at least there's something there. Oh, Brunei. I think, is there a weapon in there? I don't think so. Brunei's is pretty cool. We'll go Brunei A tier. Brunei, one of the most fascinating countries. Okay, here's that's Cape Verde. We'll do that. Yeah, Brunei's a good one. Kenya, yeah. I mean, yes, there are weapons of war on the flag, but I'm gonna break the rules. I'm breaking the rules. Kenya's is great. Switzerland. It should be down here, but we're putting it there just because of the whole, you know, I think the Red Cross is pretty neat. The Union Jack is pretty classic, especially because of the fact that it's like the three flags of the empire, or of Great Britain, sort of all blended into one. That's pretty neat. I gotta tell you, it's pretty timeless. It's unique. Like, if Mauritius had the Union Jack flag instead of Great Britain, I think we'd all think it was pretty sick. Liechtenstein, you got a crown on it. That's pretty neat. That's cool. At least you put something on your flag, unlike the rest of Europe. India, it's fine. It's all right. Oh, Burundi. Yeah, we got a good one in Burundi. Where's that one? Estonia. We'll put Estonia in E tier because, again, like, creative use of black and blue, unique. Micronesia, boring, boo. South Korea, we can throw in A tier. I think that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool one. Where the hell is the Burundi flag? Did I forget what the Burundi flag looks like? That's impossible. Iran, we can throw Iran up there, you know, just to avoid political disagreements. We'll just do this and put them on equal footing, along with these guys, and we'll just move on. Let's do that. Uzbekistan's got a great one. That's a great flag, and I'm pro Uzbekistan. First on this. Yes. You are correct. That's a good one. I like it. I don't know if I like it as much as these, but that's a pretty good one. Dominican Republic, it's all right. Dominican Republic can go in the B tier, sure. We're getting there. Is this Tajikistan? Tajikistan's pretty neat. It's all right. Is that Tajikistan? No. I feel dumb. I don't know what the flag of Tajikistan looks like in the top of my head. I'm a moron. I'm hopeless. Panama, it's all right. Panama's fine. Mexico, pretty good. Mexico's got a pretty classic looking flag. Again, it's the boring three stripes, but you put something on there. Romania, boring. Russia, boring. This is my wife, Oksana. She is boring. Mongolia, S tier. S tier, easy. Easy call. What else have we got here? Saudi Arabia, weapon of war, F tier. This is Turkmenistan. That's a great flag. Yeah, the rug, the carpet pattern on it, love it. Put them in S tier so they don't go after you for having them so low. No thanks. I think I'm good. This one, Vietnam, like, come on, bro. Like, you want to be China, but come on. You know? Like, again, like how the Union Jack for, like, Commonwealth nations should be left behind. I think the red and yellow, the red with a yellow star, if you're going to be a communist country, you can think of something on your own. Yes, Sri Lanka does have a good one. Zimbabwe has a good one too. We'll put Zimbabwe A tier, I think. Malta, decent. Malta's decent. Maybe Panama level. That is the Netherlands. Boring. Singapore, even more boring. Nepal, that's a great. I mean, what can you say? I mean, it's a shark tooth pattern. That's awesome. Wait, what was this one? That's Bahamas. Antigua and Barbuda. What did I? Oh, Barbados. Man, I'm tripping. I'm tripping out. Somalia is just Vietnam but blue, so that can go there. The Philippines are pretty cool. That's a pretty good one. I know we're way off track. Botswana, yeah, they're in the Estonia group. Oh, that was Luxembourg. Yes, you're right. That was Luxembourg. The point remains. I know one of these is an African country and the other is Romania, but it doesn't matter. They're boring. Madagascar is pretty cool. Again, it's slightly different. It's a nice little tweak. I like it, but it's not the most exciting thing in the world, and I don't find it as exciting. It is. Well, you know what? If this is going to be there, that's going to be there. Norway, that can go with the rest of the Nordic crosses. Slovakia, pretty cool. Slovakia is a pretty good one. We'll go B tier. Yeah, that was Luxembourg. Good catch. Oh, this is the Netherlands. Yes, my mistake. Malaysia, basically more boring America. Uganda has a happy son. Or Uganda. That's Uruguay, the other U. Uruguay. Venezuela, pretty solid. It's a decent flag. That's not so bad. Turkey, I think Turkey's pretty classic. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's not quite Korea or Barbados, Liechtenstein. You know, it's not quite there, but it's close. Finland deserves to be C with its fellow crosses. There are no Nordic crosses in the C. They're all in E, my friend. Slovenia, I mean, it's got mountains in it, and it's pretty neat. And they have great international hockey jerseys. Qatar, pretty cool. Where's Bahrain? Yeah, Qatar and Bahrain can hang. They're pretty much the same. Is it Zambia? Is that what that is? Zambia? Zambia's pretty... I think that's Zambia. Pretty cool. A B. We're getting there. Libya. Libya is just Turkey, but with more stuff. So maybe we'll put it in B tier. It's pretty cool. Djibouti. Ah, yes. Djibouti. Yes, yes, correct. Egypt. My ignorance is showing. I can't read it. C. Andorra. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Like, coat of arms on the front is pretty neat. And I think it's more, you know what? Let's bump up Mexico to B. I think Mexico deserves a bit of a bump. Is this Mauritius or Mauritania? Mauritius or Mauritania? I know they're similar. This is Malaysia. It's basically Turkey with stripes. I'm offending people. I know. I can feel it. Anyone in Turkey watching this. Sri Lanka. I saw someone mention Sri Lanka. That's an S tier flag for sure. Cuba, meh. There, sure. What else have we got? Papua New Guinea's pretty cool. I'll put that in an A. Papua New Guinea can hang. The Maldives, yes. I always get those confused. It's all right. All the Muslim nations with the crescent on it are all sort of landing in a similar spot. Trinidad and Tobago. If you're gonna go 3-color, it's pretty cool. It's all right. Free Finland? No, we're not doing that. We're good. You know what? Just because you said that, we're doing Finland last, right? Finland, where are you? See, Finland's so boring, I can't even find it. Oh, Bulgaria can go in the F tier with all the other European borings. Belarus is shockingly boring. Azerbaijan, again, you know what? I'll put it above with the higher tier. I'll put it with the higher tier Muslim countries because they got a pretty good one. Smiling sun on Argentina's flag. Where is Uruguay? There it is. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Djibouti's the light blue and green that looks like Czech. Right. Yes. Right? That is it, right? I think that's Hungary. Hungary can go down there. Yeah, I believe that's Djibouti. Yeah, that's a good one. Our editor, Rayanne, who is of Djibouti descent, will not like that, but I don't care. Pakistan, I can go with Turkey. Give it the cold turkey. Portugal, sure, B tier. I got to race through these because I don't want to do this all night. Where's Panama's flag? And you know what? Let's put this. It's pretty is boring. It's basically Texas. Costa Rica, pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'll take it. Costa Rica. Tonga. Tonga's pretty neat. But we'll put it in the C. Weapons of war, not allowed. Singapore? No, that's Indonesia. I also love that Singapore's flag is just Indonesia's, but they removed the religious imagery. I think that's pretty funny. But that's okay. Oh, the red star on the... oh, yes. How could I forget? I mean, I think they belong in the same spot. They're pretty cool. They're all right. What have we got left here? Tunisia? Yeah. With the other crescents, I think. In the crescent tier. C for crescent, right? Yep. Honduras? Meh. Dominican Republic? Pretty cool. Pretty neat. I think it's all right. Is it A tier? No. Oh, this is this St. Vincent and the Grenadines? Ooh. Palau, I think. Or Nauru. Is that Nauru? That's a decent one. Nigeria, boring. Colombia, barely above boring. Should the Red Wings fire Yzerman? Well, how long has he been on the job? I forget. You tell me. I'm too lazy to look and I'm too tied into this. UAE, meh. It's barely above the bottom. Union Jack. Union's been on strike. Syria's pretty neat. Their new flag is all right. It's all right. St. Vincent and the Grenadines is the yellow with the diamonds. Okay. I mean, that is pretty sick. 7 years? Okay, maybe. Maybe. Brad Lambert goal? Of course. Oh, why am I not surprised? Lebanon? I mean, I'm personally attached to people from Lebanon, and that tree is sick. What else have we got? San Marino. Shout out San Marino. A tier. Is that the Palestinian flag? It's a good one. A? Or that's Jordan, I think. Is it Jordan? This, I think, is the Palestinian flag. South Africa. Shout out Olaf Kolzig. E tier. D. We'll call it a D. España. Yeah, no, it's all right. España can hang. Yeah. B. It's a B. It's a B for me. Thailand. Shout out, what's his name? Nachayanathorn Yanakorntanapunt. Yeah. My Thai goat. I see our viewership has dropped. That's pretty funny. But we're having fun. Cameroon, I believe that is. It's all right. We're going to do it. We're going to get there. Are we? Or am I getting tired of this? I am kind of getting tired of this. Are you? Are you getting tired of it? Oh, Ukraine. I mean, Ukraine is bucking the trend. They're going S tier. Shout out Ukraine. St. Kitts and Nevis. Meh. Thank you for reminding me I'm probably autistic. Same, brother. I'm in the same boat. I mean, look at what I'm doing here. Yep. I forget what country that is, but once someone says it, I will know it. That's a good one. It's a great one. Nope. 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 Well, no. Nope. Oh, wait, what am I doing? Oh, no, I've botched it. I've botched it. Okay, it's fixed, I think. Tanzania. Yes, that's the one. Right. South Sudan. South Sudan is pretty sick. I hope they get sorted out. More crescents. I think that one belongs with those. This one, I think, can go up. That is the Maldives? The Maldives? Is that what that one is? Or is it? I don't know. Comoros? What about the real China, Taiwan? Oh, yes. China number one. Where are they? Oh, Sierra Leone. Points for creativity. Chad. I believe that's Chad. Yeah, Comoros. That was my backup. Comoros was my backup. Union Jack. Suriname. Which one is Suriname again? Serbia can go there, I guess. What are you? See, now we're getting to the point where I'm like, I am shaming myself for not knowing these. Oh no, that wasn't. Yeah, that wasn't South Sudan. This is South Sudan. D. Oh, did I put Finland in D? No, they should be down here. Can't give Finland too much credit. Green, white, and red with the gold star. Gold stars, though. Oh, this is Nauru, I believe. Nauru. It's all right. I don't want to rank them on. Oh yes, China number one. Yep, the real China, Republic of China number one. I shouldn't have said that. This is messing with my head. That can go there. That can go there. Boring, boring, boring. Boring, but slightly less boring. Yes. That's a great one. That's a classic. I think we're starting to see a pattern here. Not too many S tiers coming up, and I don't think I see any here. I mean, the bird with the sun and the water, that's pretty sick. I can't remember what that one is. Oh, American Samoa. Yes, you're right. Yes, you are correct. You should be doing this, not me. Poland's not going to like that. Well, maybe Poland should get a better flag, you know? All right, you know what? Let's Lithuania down, gone. These all kind of seem very like B level, C level. I think a lot of these are kind of C level, you know, nothing too special. This one's kind of cool. Maybe a B there. Yeah. So, but to answer the question, Canada obviously. But honest in seriousness, it might be Eswatini, honestly. That flag rocks. Or Turkmenistan or Mongolia. Those are sick. Anyway, let's keep going here. And then get out of here. That was fun, though. Oh, there we go. Did you chirp AJ for not qualifying for the World Championship or for the World Cup? Everybody in the Discord server was doing that. I didn't need to. But I did find it very funny. Have you seen Tilja Lindgren playing under 16 hockey? Is that super uncommon? No idea who that is. Tilja Lindgren? Oh. I know in Europe it does happen somewhat often. A lot of boy. Oh, Zeb Lindgren's sister. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I know in like Switzerland it happens. Like Alina Muller used to play boys hockey, and Florence Schelling played men's hockey, I believe, at one point. And so in Europe, there's a lot more overlap. They'll play girls on boys teams a lot more. Who's been the hardest to rank so far? Oof. Maybe Belchets. What NHLer do you see as your kind of ideal 2C on a contender? Well, Tynan Lawrence. But seriously, Tynan Lawrence. I'm just looking at the centers in the league. Like Sebastian Aho, if I'm on a contending team, take a Sebastian Aho on that. Yeah. I could do that. Leo Carlson in 3 years, maybe. I just got a text message that Brad Lambert scored a goal. Oh boy. Yeah. I don't know. Nobody. Just play your first line constantly. Yeah, Larkin, Heischer, those are great examples. Yeah. Kale Malhotra's Anton Lundell. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't think that's the case. Kind of in the same realm-ish, but not really. Do you ever go back 5 and 7 years and compare your drafts with each team and who they took and look at where those players are now? All the time. I mean, it's tough because Toronto doesn't draft very often. But I do that. I mean, I keep track of it in the middle tier of the site. You can access it anytime you want. You can see it, the drafted prospect tracker. And right now, we're having a good year, all things considered. Team Scouching is 15th in the league. The Toronto Maple Leafs are 28th. So I'll take that. Did you follow Artemis 2 floating around the moon? Absolutely, I did. I watched a ton of that. It was great. Why are you so high on Tynan Lawrence? Because he's a gamer, dude. He's a winner, man. There's not too many guys in this draft where you just watch them play and you're like, this kid is going to move heaven and earth to win a game. He's so aggressive and so physical and so competitive on the forecheck and so quick and skilled. And like I did the write-up for him today for the ranking, and it's like if he had stayed in the USHL for the rest of the year, he might have hit 80 points and 40 goals, right? Would anyone care? Like, would anyone bat an eye at Lawrence being a top 5 pick if he had an 80-point USHL season and had 40 goals as a center on a team like Muskegon? Like, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. So when he does something that no one else really did, which is go to college halfway through the year after an injury and playing 15 or so games with a junior team, like, and he doesn't fit in right away midway through the year, like, is that so unbelievable that he actually kind of sucks? Like, to me, that doesn't pass the smell test. And watching Lawrence on BU, like, he was given a pretty big job, which was basically make the team good. I don't know, man. But I love him. I think he's a great player. I'd want him on my team. He is a late July birthday, I believe, maybe even August. And he's playing college hockey at 17. Like, he's not going to turn 18 until maybe 3 weeks before classes start in college next year, right? August. Yeah. So maybe 3 weeks to a month before college starts next year, he turns 18 and he's got a year of college hockey basically under his belt. Well, like 2/3 of a year. I love him. I'm sticking my neck out on him, but I think he's great. Let's start making all the big internet scouts have a team they draft. Sure. I have gone back in the past and used other people's rankings to draft for teams, and, you know, sometimes they nail it and sometimes they really don't, but whatever. Same here, though, you know. But it's also really, really hard when you have very little draft capital and it's like your first pick is like 60th overall and like there's one player that hits really hard at that point. You know, I don't know. Do you know? Because I don't. Yes, Lesotho's flag is sick. I agree. All right. Lambert is overrated because he scored a goal and we know goals are not good. Assists are. Exactly, my friend. Dude, you've nailed it. You figured out it. You cracked the code, man. Oh, the bird with waves is Kiribati. Right. Bhutan is a very, very good one. Yeah, Bhutan is a very good one. Portugal, good list. Portugal docked for being low. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I mean, it's all right, but, you know. Not style, just second or third line center, depending on the team, like you said, Malhotra's supposed to be. Oh, I see. Yes, yeah. With Lindell, right. Yes, that makes a lot of sense. Oh my god, it's 10:01. Wow, time just flies. Well, in that case, oh god, we'll finish this and then we'll go. I know what this one is, and I'm kicking myself for not knowing. All of these, I'm like, I know what these are. I mean, Egypt is the easy one. Egypt. E for Egypt. You know what? We're going to do this, and we're going to bump this up. And we're going to bump this up. There's something artistically simplistic about the Japanese flag that just kind of sticks out. Bro, what is happening? Well, we caught up on chat. We have no more questions to go through. We started a flag tier list that someone mentioned in the chat, and so here we are. Tree on the flag, automatic S tier, I would say. I don't even recognize that one. That must be like Sao Tome and Principe or something. I don't know. Weapons of war on a flag, F. This one's pretty good. A. I like it. It looks like something like a jungle gym to me. Like it feels like something like a play place, you know, like the color scheme of those old McDonald's play places from 1927 when I was 8 years old. Equatorial Guinea, yes. Okay, got it. Guatemala's pretty all right. Nothing too fancy. I like the powder blue though. Sao Tome's still there. Let me see. Unless can I okay, so they're in the file usernames. Okay, got it. Solomon Islands. Now I'm just cheating. Oh, this is Tajikistan. I mean, it's got like a drawing on it that like a child could have made. I think that's pretty cool. Paraguay. D. Second from the left on the bottom row. This one? Sao Tome and Principe? It's all right. Wait, isn't that the Solomon Islands? This, I think, is what you're talking about. Yeah, this is the Solomon Islands. That's what that is. I'm losing track of reality now. I'm losing track of reality here. St. Kitts and Nevis is pretty cool. We'll put it there. Diagonal stars are usually a good bet, you know, like that's pretty neat. Ah, the Gambia. See, I like the Gambias a lot because the Gambia is literally just the river. You know what I mean? And the blue down the middle, I think is just really smart and kind of cool and classy and all that. So I'm all for it. This one, yeah, sure. I should look which one this is. Malawi, yes, I remember. Australia's an F because no, it's not that. It's not that. Australia is an F because the Union Jack is overused outside of the United Kingdom. So I'm of the belief that countries that are no longer part of the United Kingdom should ditch the Union Jack because they're not the United Kingdom. So automatically them and all boring European 3-color flags are in the basement. Senegal's all right. This is Peru. That's Peru, right? Peru's all right. It can hang with the other countries with crests. You know what? Whoever said Portugal was right. Portugal should move up. Yeah, that's a good one. Like Portugal and San Marino slap pretty good, to use a term the children use. And you know what? Slovakia. We'll bump Slovakia. And yes, I agree. New Zealand should use the fern flag. This is Myanmar. Meh. You know what? No. No. Any prospects that get taken are taken earlier than they should because of family lineage? I mean, the Rucks, does that count? They're twins. Everybody's talking about them as twins. It's a good question. I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know. Which is really bothering me what this one is. Yemen. Oh my god. Yemen and Egypt having the same flag is kind of annoying. Malhotra. Yeah, Malhotra's a good guess. By the way, another thing I did this week, I built my 2027 tracker. So there's that. Yeah, Malhotra for sure. Yeah, Cullen, but he's very good. Joe Aginla. There you go. Joe Aginla. There's another Aginla, did you know? This is pretty neat. A black star. That's pretty badass. Guinea-Bissau, yes. Yes. Meh. Olin Zellweger is related to Renee Zellweger. That's a good pull. There you go. Oh, okay. I believe that's the Democratic Republic of the Congo. That can go there. Much as I disagree with their nation building activities. You have Bolivia, Burkina Faso, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Ecuador, East Timor, Timor-Leste, please. Ghana, Mali. Oh, yes. Morocco. Yeah. Is this Mali? No, it's Ghana. This is Ghana. Another black star, but it's kind of boring. Suriname. Yeah, it's also kind of boring. But I like it more than this. I like the green. The green's cool. And this is St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It looks like the logo for the football team, the Wolves, so that's pretty neat. That gives it some points. Bolivia, yes. Bolivia is pretty neat. If I had to pick one country to live in without worrying about language, man, that's a good question. Yeah, Timor-Leste is an interesting place. I remember when Timor-Leste was made. That was a weird. It's always weird when like countries just like pop up and exist. Yeah, Ecuador. Ecuador's got a pretty cool coat of arms on there. Maybe that can go in A tier. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah, the always friendly and happy Republic of North Korea. Exactly. This one has a pyramid on it. That's also pretty neat, but it's kind of boring too. I believe that's Ethiopia is elite. I think Ethiopia's got a really good one. Timor-Leste is we'll put it with the other triangles. Most of the other triangles around there. And Morocco is the last one. Pretty boring, but classy and simple and effective. I think that's fair. Now, scanning up and down. Okay, that one moves up. That one moves up. That one moves up. Honestly, Argentina didn't feel good about it when I did it. I do think the North Korean flag is pretty sick, though. So I don't know. I feel bad about it, but you gotta give credit where credit's due. How did this get here? Is it Armenia? I believe. Anyway, down it goes. Yeah, Europe's so boring. I think we need to start a political movement to get Europeans en masse in the European Union to like change their flags. We got to find some sort of like hyper woke reasoning that the European Union will actually listen to, because they love to squabble about that kind of thing. And maybe find some way to motivate people to go in that direction. I think we bump the Philippines up. I think we bump Laos up. I think Norway's flag is all right. It's fine. I'm going to offend Norwegians that I know are subscribers, but I don't care. I think we can bump South Sudan up. I think no, that's not South Sudan. Is it? Yes, it is. We'll bump them up. Bump. Yeah, I feel pretty good about this. I think Macedonia can go up a tier. I think Croatia maybe. Yeah, I feel pretty good about this. Maybe Lithuania can go in E tier. Maybe Lithuania can go up a step. It's kind of neat. Yeah, Armenia, maybe a little one. But the rest, yeah, pass. Um, but yeah, I mean, if I had, it was a country to live in, like, uh, honestly, I love France, man. I love France. I every time I go to Paris, I know it's a little okay. Rank countries by how good their music is. Um, right now Quebec is number one. Quebec is numero uno. Um, Scandinavia is all right. Iceland has some great music, like Bjork and Sigur Rós and Schaltalin was a band that I was really into in high school. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I think France, because like I know people rag on it a lot, but like I personally love Paris and a lot of the other cities in France that I've been to, which there are not that many, also are really really cool. Yeah, Brazil. Yeah, Brazil S tier, absolutely. Um, yeah, Loewe is from Iceland. Yes, that's true. Iceland makes per capita. They do some good stuff. Um, you've been to France? I have quite a few times actually over the years. Yeah, I mean, one of the things I love about Toronto is you can go to an airport that goes everywhere. So if you want to go somewhere, it's really straightforward by and large. Um, but I don't know. Like, I also really like. I love. I was gonna say Copenhagen or Amsterdam too. Like, I love Amsterdam. Not for the the weed, blah, 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 but like, I just really love the city. I think it's a really cool little spot and a really really interesting place to explore around and mess around in. The food scene there is kind of questionable though. Not many places I've been to, I'm like, wow, I can't find a good meal, but Amsterdam definitely, I couldn't find a good meal to save my life. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, other countries with good music. I mean, there's too many. There's just so many. Uh, I've never been out of North America. Well, obviously it's a luxury that I've had in my life. I'm very very privileged to have lived the life I have. I think it is, if you can, I think it's one of the most valuable experiences you can do as a person. Like if you're into that whole like I want to live type deal, you don't have to see the world, but seeing what you can, I think makes a huge I don't know. It changes the way you think a little bit in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways. Yes, it's Loewe. Yeah, Loewe. My rudimentary Icelandic from 2013 is coming back one step at a time. Hmm. I forget what I was saying. Oh yes. Next question is if you don't have to worry about safety and quality of life. Well, I mean, look, I think we get shown a very, very problematic version of the world. And I think people, like, the way I see it is like, think about, at least here in Ontario, a lot of people are like, you can't go to the shopping mall anymore because there's all these snatch and grabs and robberies and stuff. But it's like, not really. Like, every time it happens, it hits social media and everybody freaks out for like 12 hours. And then it doesn't happen for 3 months or 6 months or 9 months or a year. And it's like, okay, yeah, it's bad that happens and whoever did it should get caught and it's bad, whatever. But like, it's not like we need to uproot the entire system and make everybody jailed for 20 years for bothering to do anything, right? Like it's silly. Yeah, Sigur Rós rules. I saw them live in Toronto. They're great. It was awesome. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think like people talk a lot about Paris and how unsafe it is, and it's not. Like it's a city of like 13 million people. If you wanted to search out all of the worst parts of a city of 13 million people, 1 in a million, if someone is 1 in a million bad vibes, there's 13 of them, and they're gonna find it, you know. It's a really, 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 it's a frustrating thing from my perspective as someone who has been lucky enough to see a lot of the world. By and large, almost everyone everywhere is a functional member of society. It's just that we get presented the worst of it because that's what gets people talking and paying attention and motivated to vote. like if you want to get somebody motivated to think that there's a problem that needs to be fixed, it's through like, here's the worst thing imaginable happening. We need to fix this. It's like, okay, let's look at aggregate a little bit. You know what I mean? And, granted, obviously I also am speaking from a point of privilege as a white male. I don't have the same list of things to worry about, but I would say the only place in the world I've ever been where I genuinely felt unsafe was Moscow. Like Moscow was a place. Oh, North Korea, yes. North Korea is a little bit of a safety concern. Yeah, that's true. That's the other side of the spectrum. Yeah, I don't think I'd be very happy there. But yeah, the only place I genuinely didn't really feel super safe was Moscow. Like I got approached by police, and like kind of asked to bribe them so that I didn't get some sort of ticket for being on the sidewalk. I don't know. It was really weird. But yeah, it was a strange place. I was not vibing with Moscow very much. St. Petersburg, on the other hand, man, one of the most beautiful cities I've ever been to, honestly. I think St. Petersburg is a world-class city, and if Russia ever got their head out of their ass, it would be a globally desirable destination to go, because it is amazing there. Strange, but amazing. And yeah, beyond that, I mean, I love talking about this stuff though, because it's a really, like, I agree. Like, people understand how much a change of scenery can rejuvenate you. Like, it's also just a matter of like seeing how different people live, and like seeing how, you kind of put it into perspective, like how your life experience might be a little bit off the path that you think you should be on. And I think, like, for example, like you go to like if you were born and raised in the suburbs and you travel to a place like the Netherlands where nobody really drives and everybody gets around on a bike or subway or public transit of any kind, and it's very compact and very tight and small and concentrated, but there's tons, like, it's a totally different life experience. And then you go home and you go, oh my God, I can't believe we've created this nightmarish hellscape. At least I do. Like I think it is the cardinal sin of the colonists of North America is turning most of North America into a parking lot. I think that is, I think there is always, that's a big cardinal sin in terms of, after the cardinal sins that we committed, in the first place. But as we developed, I think one of the worst things we ever did was, the idea of the sprawling suburbs and everything, because when you go to certain places in Europe, you go, how in the hell how did we think that anything other than something like this was a good idea, for so many different reasons, and yeah, anyway, it's just, it is what it is. But if you can, traveling is worth doing, right? Like, if you really wanted to, I don't know, like if you were traveling for the first time outside, yeah, we've stacked a lot of them. Can we look at your list past 32? I don't think I'm going to do that. I think you should just wait for the final list. I don't want to spoil everything before we release them. I don't think you were here earlier, but the rankings are coming out next week, the full list. And if you're a subscriber, you'll get them either tomorrow or Wednesday. Yeah, we've really stacked up the cardinal sins. I agree. But yeah, I mean, if you've never traveled before, and then we'll go after this, but, I mean, it depends on your budget and everything, but like I feel like you got to see like Paris and London and even Barcelona. Barcelona, you kind of have to be a little bit more wary of in terms of safety and everything, but it's not bad at all, But that's a thing. Well, exactly. I mean, yeah, you nailed it with the national parks. I did a national park tour when I was 20 in the U.S. I drove across the country, like we went Toronto and then just barreled it down to the Grand Canyon. Went up through Utah, did like Arches and Bryce Canyon, and went up to Yellowstone and Glacier, and came back and did stupid Mount Rushmore. Don't if you have a desire to see Mount Rushmore, Mount Rushmore might be the only place I've ever been where the photographs are better than the place. Mount Rushmore sucks. Mount Rushmore made me sad because I was like, we did this to natural geology just for funsies, just for a public works project. Like, that's moronic. I hated it. And I had to go all the way to whatever Dakota it's in to do it. And yeah. But the national parks, especially in the west of the U.S. that I've been to, I don't know. You can't do much better. That whole area. I'm a desert guy. If you know nothing about me, I'm a big desert guy. I'm a big fan of the desert. I don't like swamp. I don't like the South. I'm a big desert guy. So I'm all about the Utahs and the Montanas, which is not a desert, but you get what I'm saying. All kinds of places. Japan's number one on your list? Dude, I get that, man. Japan's sick. I went there almost 20, oh my God, it'll be 20 years ago next year. And I loved it. Japan is the closest thing to another planet I think I've ever experienced. It's really, really cool. Like, and it's good too nowadays because it's relatively affordable to get around and do stuff there. I think that might change pretty quick, but for now, and there's tons of places to see and go. It's easy to get everywhere. I remember the language barrier being a bit of a problem at the time, but I imagine that nowadays things are a lot better with the tools and everything that we've got. Best hockey players from the desert? Well, it wouldn't be Austin Matthews because he's anyway. And yeah, they did also go back on a land deal to build with the natives to build Mount Rushmore. It's awful. I thought it was 31. I mean, I was 17 when that happened. I'm 35, so I'll take that as a compliment. I appreciate it. What? Oh my God, that reminds me. And then I really got to go. Yeah, Japan really is great. It's not. It is basic, but like it's basic for a reason. Like it's like a cliche, but like you go for it is that way because it is. It's a place you gotta go if you can. Especially, well, I think considering it's in your username. If you're from Vancouver, that's a no-brainer to me. Yeah, like Japan is a different planet. Like I'm not saying that I felt uncomfortable due to like racism, but I did. If you want to talk about opening your mind to things, when I was there at that time, there definitely was that like side-eyeing and staring at you type deal, because like most people in Japan are straight Japanese, and back in 2007 at least, I was getting some looks, where I'm like, not sure, and like just going to stores and places and just, maybe it was because I was a rowdy, stupid 17-year-old teenager. That could have had something to do with it. But it was like, something about this feels a little bit weird. And now I'm older and I've thought about it. It's like, oh yeah, like the Japanese maybe at the time weren't they didn't have the best poker face, but I'm being a little bit reductive and silly. But yes, I am 35 years old, turning 36. They probably thought you were American. Yeah, probably. Honestly, I don't know. I do really want to go to Asia again. I haven't been since then. Like I want to do Thailand. I want to do all of that stuff. Cambodia. My sister went to Cambodia and said it was amazing. Anyway, oh, you're part Dutch, Vancouver. Oh, okay, so there you go. Well, then never mind. All right, well, we're gonna call it. Thanks very much for joining us. This was a good one. Thanks for coming. This was fun. We'll be back Thursday afternoon, 2 p.m. Again, if you are a subscriber, you can get the rankings as soon as they're done, which will be tomorrow or the next day. Scouching report, Dax and Rudolph is tomorrow, and then we're doing Chase Reed Wednesday. So you'll stay tuned for those. It'll be a good time. And then we've got all kinds of stuff. Singapore, yeah, there's a good one. And then we're just going to keep grinding. If you're a member of the Scouching server, we'll probably be doing office hours maybe tomorrow if I can really get my rankings done, but more likely Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But we'll be back Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for being here with me. It was a lot of fun. See you around, and have a good one.